If you've got $20 burning a hole in your pocket and are ready to dive into back issues at your local comic shop, then this video is for you. Stay tuned as I roll through another top 10 comics on a $20 budget list, this time for the summer of 2022. Let's go. The $20 videos are always the most fun because you never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes it's books that are just breaking out, other times it's a book that's on its way back down. Regardless of the circumstances, the best part of a $20 budget is that it's accessible for nearly everyone in the community. Our first stop at the number 10 spot finds Barry Allen having a really bad day. Coming in at number 10 is Crisis on Infinite Earths number 8. Published in November 1985, Crisis 8 was the second consecutive gut punch creators Marv Wolfman and George Perez hit readers with, following the death of Supergirl in the preceding issue. Here, the Anti-Monitor gets his hands on Barry Allen's Flash and sends him hurling through time. But it's not in the cool, my crazy inventor friend made a time machine out of a DeLorean way. It's more of a, there's no way in hell I'm gonna survive this trip through time. Like all issues of this miniseries, the print run on this thing was massive, which is part of the reason why even today, nearly 40 years later, a high-grade raw copy of this book will only cost you 20 bucks. I think we can all agree that when we're watching Guardians of the Galaxy and realized that they were running around inside the decapitated head of a celestial or whatever they claim it was kind of icky. But like all things in the hobby, that decapitated head has a first appearance, and that issue is our number 9 book, Nova number 8. Like most of Marvel's mid-tier heroes, Nova has had more series than any casual collector can keep straight in their head. So for the sake of clarity, we're looking at Nova 8 from the 2007 Nova series, not any of the hundreds of series that preceded this. Published in January 2008, this Nova 8 is rocking a fantastic Adi Granov cover, while Wellington Alvis covers the pencils for the Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning story. And while the first appearance of Nowhere is cool and all, the real attraction of this book is the first appearance of Cosmo, a telepathic dog and Russian cosmonaut that has an established history with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, at least 14 years established at this point, I suppose. In fact, we've already seen Cosmo in the MCU, but other than Howard the Duck, few other characters from the Guardians sandbox have received so little screen time. Also making their debut in this issue are the Luminals, but when compared to a world-sized decapitated head and a telepathic dog, they're kind of boring. Nova 8 comes in right at $20 and packs a lot of punch for the price, with a great cover and multiple first appearances. Despite being extinct for millions of years, dinosaurs get all the love. I've been a dinosaur nut since I was old enough to expel words from my face, and based on the number of Jurassic Park movies that they keep making, I think it's safe to assume that I'm not alone. So to celebrate our fixation with long-dead lizards, I present the number 8 book, Xenozoic Tales number 1. And right now you're probably looking at the screen and wondering what the hell I'm talking about, and that's fair. But let me shine a little light on this mystery. Xenozoic Tales would later be rebranded as Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, a short-lived but super nostalgic intellectual property from the early 90s. Before it was all done, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs would have a TV show, a side-scroller arcade game from Capcom, and a great action figure line. Having premiered in Death Rattle number 8 back in December 1986, Xenozoic Tales number 1 brought the future Cadillacs and Dinosaurs tales to their own title. Published by Kitchen Sink Press in February 1987, Mark Schultz did it all on this one. Cover art, interior art, scripts, inks, everything other than the colors and the lettering was him. This one is a fun book to keep an eye out for while you're digging in those dusty long boxes full of indie 80s weirdness. And the best news, 20 bucks will bring this one home when you manage to track down a copy. Daredevil is coming to the MCU, and prices for the Man Without Fear supporting cast have been jumping in value as a result. However, the first appearance of one of my favorite Daredevil adjacent characters can be had for well under our $20 budget. Coming in at number 7 is Daredevil 153, the first appearance of Ben Urich. If you think all the way back to the Netflix Daredevil series, Ben Urich's story didn't have a happy ending. But here in the land of the multiverse, maybe we can see the character return and fulfill his traditional role in Daredevil's story. Published in July 1978, Daredevil 153 is one of the final issues in a long run of lackluster books that stretch all the way back to Daredevil 10 when Wally Wood left the title. Luckily for us, a young up-and-comer named Frank Miller would be on the title within a year and will take Old Hornhead from a zero to a newsstand hero. Daredevil 153 featured cover and interior art from legend Gene Colan and a story from Roger McKenzie. This overlooked first appearance may not help you get into an early retirement, but for under $15 for a raw high-grade copy, it won't blow out your budget either. What's better than a little friendly competition? When you get two of the fastest beings in the DC universe together, chances are egos are going to be a thing, and eventually someone is going to ask the question, who is the fastest? Coming in at number 6 is a book that answers that question for the 5th time, Adventures of Superman 463. Published in February 1990, Adventures of Superman 463 features the 5th race between Superman and the Flash. But this is the first showdown between Supes and Wally West, Flash. Written and drawn by Dan Jurgens, this book is just a fun reprieve from some of the craziness DC was known for at the time. We weren't killing sidekicks or crippling flagship heroes. It's just two dudes trying to out-super each other, despite being pitted against each other by a goofy villain with an unpronounceable name, Mr. Mxyzptlk. Mr. Mxyzptlk, coming in at an average price of $18 for a high-grade raw copy. Like most Superman books from the 90s, you shouldn't have to hunt too long for one of these. Popping up in the number 5 spot is a book you're sure to see a lot more of in the coming months, Spectacular Spider-Man 99. Featuring the first cover appearance and second overall appearance of Spot, who debuted in the previous issue, Spectacular Spider-Man 98 through 100 are all hot commodities right now, as Spot has been confirmed for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the 2023 sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Published in February 1985, Spectacular Spider-Man 99 has a great 80s creative team. Al Milgrom handles the script and cover art duties while Herb Trimpe covers the interior pencils. The appeal of Spec 99 is the villain's cover appearance, as the cover of his first appearance features the Kingpin. Had issue 98 been both the first appearance and the first cover appearance, I suspect it would be going for even more right now. But as it is, 99 gets a nice bump to a $20 value, and I wouldn't be surprised if this one doesn't sneak up a bit higher leading into the release of the film. Last fall it was announced that Brother Blood and Mother Mayhem were on their way to HBO Max for Season 4 of the Titans show. And as it happens, that announcement sent a number of books climbing in value. Such is the case for our number 4 book, New Teen Titans number 21. Published in July 1982, this issue hails from the heart of one of the greatest runs and creative partnerships in all of comics between Marv Wolfman and George Perez. Their run on New Teen Titans is nothing short of legendary. Debuting in this issue are Baron Winters, Brother Blood, and Mother Mayhem. So naturally, the announcement that Brother Blood and Mother Mayhem were coming to the Titan show increased interest in this issue substantially. Despite the newfound interest in the market, a high-grade copy of this book can be picked up for right at our $20 budget. If you've been flipping through Disney Plus lately, you might have noticed that there's a new Baymax show on the service. With that in mind, I thought it'd be timely to include an early Baymax appearance in the top 10. Coming in at number 3 is Alpha Flight number 17. After debuting alongside the Big Hero 6 team in Sunfire and Big Hero 6 number 1 in September 1998, a book that you can not pick up on our $20 budget, Baymax and the Big Hero 6 team popped up again in December 1998's Alpha Flight 17, where the team wound up facing off against the new iteration of Alpha Flight. The creative team on this issue consisted of Duncan Rouleau, who handled the cover and interior pencils, and a script from Rouleau and Steve Siegel. While this issue has an FMV upwards of $20 right now, I have no doubt this is a book that you can still find in dollar bins, as Alpha Flight's second volume isn't known for being full of bangers, and this issue could easily slip through the cracks for a seller. As a 90s kid, I've always had a soft spot for Spawn. But as we know, there aren't many early issues of Spawn that have much value in the market. Well, the club got a little bigger recently when a new Netflix series, Raw 10, was announced. And that hot new Spawn book is our number 2 book, Spawn 38. What do these two things have in common, you might be asking? The answer is Cygor, everyone's favorite cybernetically enhanced primate. When McFarlane Toys launched the Raw 10 toy line back in 2020, Cygor was included in the line, along with a cyborg shark, a souped-up snake, and a velociraptor type thing with what else other than a sweet set of metal legs. It's unlikely that the character's origins in the Spawn series will tie into the show, but the spike in interest in the book has taken it from the discount bins up to a $20 price tag as of the time of recording this video. Published back in December 1995, this issue of Spawn rocks a Tony S. Daniel cover and interior art as well, and a story from Todd McFarlane and Julia Simmons. If you like crazy monsters or are looking for some low-risk spec to tie into the new Netflix Raw 10 series, then check this one out. Topping the summer 2022 top 10 comics on a $20 budget list is Wolverine 17. The 1988 ongoing Wolverine series is full of classic and iconic covers, and issue 17 is one of the more recognizable of those iconic covers. This shouldn't come as a surprise though, as the artist behind the cover is arguably one of the most influential Wolverine artists of all time, John Byrne. What goes on inside of this book? I can't really tell you because I'm still back here checking out the cover. The blood red background, the classic brown and yellow costume, this thing is just begging to be slabbed and displayed on a wall. Published in November 1989, Wolverine 17 has the aforementioned Byrne cover, Byrne breakdowns on the interior art with Klaus Janson finishes, and a story from Archie Goodwin. Wolverine 17 saw a bump in value over the previous couple of years and is currently trading for just under our $20 budget for raw high-grade copies. If you're looking for a collectible run to put together that won't break the bank and has some great covers, I think this Wolverine series should be a leading contender. As inflation settles in and buying habits adjust in response, finding interesting but affordable collectible issues is more important than ever. Being deliberate with your comic book dollars through setting goals and making shopping lists of specific issues that you're hunting for will help keep you in the game longer, as weeding out impulse buys will make your budget go further and help you achieve your goals faster. If you enjoyed this top 10 comics list, then be sure to check out this other top 10 comics list right here. Collect responsibly, and I'll see you in the next one.